Coach, so after looking at the film, what are some takeaways from this past weekend at Grand Valley State, and what kind of things did you see that you're going to learn from, take into next week?
Yeah. Well, you look at the whole phase, all three phases of the game, and one of the things you always want to start off with is just taking care of the football. Having fumbling the ball 3 times and having having 3 interceptions and 1 fumble, then just taking care of the ball. I mean, that's one of the biggest things we're going to do. We're aggressively trying to get the ball back with defense. We had our opportunities to do that, but you can't. It's hard to win ball games when you're given the ball that many times. It's tough on the rhythm of the game for the entire team, and so we're going to work hard. Number one on that is taking care of the football. After that is the big takeaway is special teams wise. We obviously get a big return from Tyler Thornton with that punt return. But when you watch the tape, we can be a lot better. And starting off the second half, giving up a big kickoff return is not how you want to do that coming out of the tunnel. And you make your halftime adjustments, which I thought our coordinators did a great job with. But when you give up a kickoff return to start off, right now, Grand Valley felt like, okay, we got them, and it just took. But it says a lot to our guys, the mentally toughness they have to keep fighting in the way they did. We're going to fix that, and then defensively and offensively, the details matter. So we're just going to really hone in on all those things with our systems.
And then next one is about Terrell, and there'll be 2 parts to it, and I apologize for the long question, but he was obviously a huge bright spot for you. First of all, just as a great running back moving up into the top 10 career rushing, 2,000 yards, he's still got basically 2 full years left. How good can he be? What can he develop into? And then the second part of it has more to do with the young offensive line, how encouraging it was to see their in-game adjustments against a quality opponent.
Well, he's a throwback player, and then the fact that he'll go both ways. He'll play defensive end for us. He'll run down on kickoff. The thing you love about Terrell, I think what makes him special, is because he loves the game, and he plays it with the physicality, the conviction, the excitement, the fun, the joy about playing that the game is meant to be. So, Terrell's a leader. He's a guy who wants the ball. He's going to get after it with the ball, and so he can be trusted with the ball too. So, he is exciting watching him develop into what he is, and a great person to be around. So, there's a big bright spot for him, but then now with Terrell is only as good as the offensive line. So to answer your second question, there were quite a few new starters in that line, and with that, we at one point had. Lance was the only guy returning that was playing. So to see them continue to get better as the game went on, to continue to wear out at time their defensive line, and to see them grow from the sideline adjustments, I think Jackie's doing an outstanding job with what is a really green offensive line. There are quite a few people, as the first time I've ever seen college action, and seeing college action in a place that is truly impeccable when it comes to the college atmosphere. So, I'm excited about that. I think there's a great nucleus there. I think those guys are going to be very good this year, and I know Coach Slater will make that happen.
Between week 1 and week 2, there's always a lot of growth. You understand what you're working with a little bit better after seeing some players on the field.
Yeah.
Talk about some areas of growth that you expect to see, would like to see this week from individuals, from positions, and overall as a team.
Well, let's just talk number one, the urgency. There's an urgency to do this, and we've talked, in the past about there only being a certain amount of opportunities to play football. So right now you've got, out of 11 games scheduled, one game's already under your belt, and so now you've got 10 left, and I think that guys can realize now. It was like yesterday you were in the spring workouts in the weight room, then you have spring football, then you have all summer long, and then you have camp. Everybody feels like that lasts forever, but now it's come and gone. You've already done with 1 week. So there's got to be an urgency about us as a group. We've got to come in with a personal conviction to say we're going to make ourselves great. And making ourselves great, the way it looks like, is you take care of details in your position. Whatever the schematic is asking of you to do, you do it with a great, impeccable attention. You take care of the football. You run like your hair is on fire during the game, and to play the game. The game is meant to be played with great passion. If I can't see passion in you when you're playing, if I see like you're one of those guys that are just kind of waiting for somebody else to make a play and you just want to be a part of the joy, that's not what we want here. We want a guy who says, I'm going to do everything I can to sell out for my teammates, then do my job extremely well, And whatever opportunity we give them, they're going to own it like it's everything. And we talk a lot about 11-to-1 ratio, how it takes 11 people to make one play work. And, you know, in the last game you saw Grand Valley is that they had a lot more plays on film where they had 11 people doing the right thing, and then we did. And so we're going to fix that. We're going to get that going. I think our guys have woken up to understand that if that's the best there, if that's the most winningest program, which they are, and the banners to prove it, then you're going to learn that lesson from it and just say, okay, we are quickly going to change our culture, and even all the more to pay attention to details, because that is the great vision and beyond that this program is striving to achieve. And so as coaches, we're committed to that, and as players, you know, they particularly better be committed to that as well if they, you know, to do something great with their time playing football.
Coach, last year you guys had a lot of success winning the turnover battle, even though the total margin in the Grand Valley game didn't. Your team didn't come out on top of that. You still created 3 turnovers, had another one that was taken away on the offsides. So you were able to create those turnovers. How do you continue to keep that emphasis in your preparation?
One of the great things, and it starts off, you know, with Brian Wilmer, our defensive coordinator, he's just constantly preaching, is that the mission of our defense is just get this ball back, find any way you can. In practice, all the defensive coaches are constantly harping on, strip the ball out, find a way with the ball, be a ball of conscience after every practice, where we're trying to make everybody aware of, okay, what's our turnover count. So it's in the priority. It's of every single day we go out and take the field, that is critical to a team's overall success. And if you want to be, you know, one of the last standing, you got to look at the turnover margin. And so what we've got to do on the other side of the ball as well is make that a high priority. And so we're going to do that, and it's going to happen. So we can't, you know, take away one and give up one. You know, we got to make sure that we're not putting ourselves in a bad situation. Let the other team do that. So we've got a ways to go, obviously, and that's my responsibility as a head coach to make sure this gets done, and it will.
Now, I got a question in for Mid Valley Sports. Over 13,000 at that game, great atmosphere. Did you think that had an effect on the team, at least at the start of the game?
Well, I'd say, yeah, it had effects. One, I think the effect is everybody's fired up. Sometimes that can be an adverse effect when you're so overjoyed to play the game and you're just so hyped. Well, you can be overexcited for something, and I thought that our guys perhaps got overexcited. So now at that time you're so fired up to be in the atmosphere when you're running out, and you know their crowd's on top of you. They're heckling. They're doing a great job. They're doing what a crowd does, and what we envision our stadium becoming. But then now you can be so excited to play, and what your dream was to, hey man, this is great football. Then it takes a little time to kind of get back to your focus of, hey, let's play the game, let's stay between the lines. The field didn't get bigger, but just have fun with it. So I got to believe that effect, and that's where we want our fans, and we ask our fans is when we're at home, you make as much noise as you can, because it does have an effect on the opponent. And we've got already a great place to play, but we want to make our place the best place. So a lot of fun. The families enjoy it. The fans enjoy it. And so it was amazing to see. I'll be honest, I've been in a lot of stadiums, and, you know, having played Division I football, that was one of the best environments I've ever played in, and just fun to be a part of.
Yeah.
Another question out of Mid Valley Sports. Getting behind early and rallying. Last year we kind of saw that happen. Did you see any similarities this past week from last year to this year?
Yeah, I'd say one thing about our organization is that the type of player we have here, and you know the way that coaches get after them. I would say there's a lot of emotional resilience in our team, and when you watch the tape, you realize that everybody's playing hard the whole game. They're just misfiring, and so yeah, it speaks a lot to the emotional resilience in this. It speaks a lot to this is such a learning organization that they understand. It's really up to us to keep getting better, to learn quickly, to make adjustments. They know every game's going to take adjustments. So when you get them out of half and you make the adjustments, they're already ready to do that. Even if it's going well, they're ready to refine it all the more. So I saw on tape a team that is who loves playing the game, but they just weren't focused on the minute details that it takes to be successful at that top tier level. So now having seen that, and then for I think our players, it's imprinted in their mind to say, okay, this is what it takes. So when we go in the team meeting and we talk about it as a group about continue to elevating our whole program, I think that's a great picture now they got to see. You say, okay, this is what it takes.
And then we'll switch gears, talk a little bit about Dixie State. Preseason poll, you're picked higher than them, but after the first week, you can kind of throw that poll out with the upset. Your preseason favorite, Humboldt State, loses to Simon Fraser. They were picked fifth. So, talk about what that speaks to the depth, the balance of the GNAC, and then what you expect out of this game with Dixie State.
Well, speaking of GNAC first, is that what it does show is I know what we learned last season the hard way was every team that we play is a very good football team. This league from top to bottom is just loaded with good football players and just good football coaches and just good football. So Dixie State, it's a league opponent. They return some really quality people, particularly in the quarterback and the tight end position. They're a solid football team, and we know that we're in for another GNAC battle. Every week's a season. When you have a GNAC league start, I mean Simon Fraser and Humboldt just shows it. This is good football. So we know that what we're going to do right now is focus a week at a time. And you could be having a 4-0 run in the league, and you could stub your toe bad, and then you lose yourself in the end of the season. So this thing's got a long way to go before it plays out. Obviously, we have goals to become the league champion. I think just like everybody else has goals too. And right now, our league is wide open. And so what we're going to do is just take this one opponent, fix ourselves first, refine our systems all the more, do all we can to study Dixie State, prepare the best game plan we can for them. And at the end of the day, we want to be able to make sure we win that turnover margin and be able to start making some of the big plays we need to make to win a ball game.
Thank you, Coach. Good luck this week.